Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Teatro Padula. And tonight is a very special evening because we've renamed this zone as Brunswood. We have here an evening that we're going to record La Mandragola by Niccolò Machiavelli, a play written in 1518 or around that time when the author, Niccolò Machiavelli, was in San Casciano away from his public performances as a bureaucrat. In fact, he had been there for about 12 years, from 1512, and he stayed in San Casciano until around 1526, away from his work as Secretary of State, because the Medici came back into power after the Republic. The play itself observes what people do in real life, and it's as real today as it was then, because Niccolò Machiavelli was a great observer of society. That is why we still remember the end justifies the means. It doesn't mean that Machiavelli actually believed that. What he noticed is that people in power used that sort of philosophy in order to retain power. And the other thing that he was famous for and expanded two principles that humanity, people, need to do two things. One is to exercise the virtù. In other words, we try the very best to do what we can do for ourselves and for others, and we do it to the very best of our abilities. In other words, we exercise our virtù. But without another element, fortuna, we cannot really succeed. Or if we succeed, it could go either way, either in the positive or in the negative. So therefore, we need an element of fortuna in the climate in which things are done. And in this respect, it probably reminds us of a higher order. Let's not forget that Niccolò Machiavelli lived right at the end of the greatest period of Italian civilization, the Renaissance, which we call the cradle of civilization for Western thought and for Western way of living. These progress that have been made since then have brought us to a world that is just as challenging today as it was then. And I'm sure that we've made a lot of progress, but there's a lot more. And therefore tonight I want to invite here Niccolò Machiavelli. But before I call upon Niccolò, vorrei darvi a tutti un bel benvenuto, perché si intende in un teatro dove si parla la lingua italiana si deve anche praticare il fatto che siamo bilingui in questa terra. Queste attività che dimostrano la nostra competenza sia in una lingua che in un'altra viene dopo moltissimo lavoro e dedica personale. Non si può dare in eredità una lingua ai propri figli, i figli la devono imparare, e quindi lo si può fare tramite l'arte e lo si può fare tramite i viaggi e molto di più. Quindi per questa sera divertitevi della Mandragola di Niccolò Machiavelli, vediamo quello che questo autore ha saputo scrivere tanto tempo fa in un linguaggio chiaro e vero. Però l'unica cosa stasera è che la lingua non è una lingua vecchia del 1500, è una lingua tradotta nell'italiano moderno. Quindi la Mandragola di questa sera viene a voi nella lingua italiana. L'altra cosa che abbiamo fatto è di tradurre la commedia. This evening we have subtitles for those people who don't speak Italian well. So we assume that if you are here this evening, you are a student of Italian, you're an Italophile, what I call. You don't have to be of Italian background, but as someone says, in humanity, wherever you go in the world, there's always a little corner that is Italian. And tonight is no different. So welcome.